Welcome back to That Game Case Live. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight, it's gonna be a great night for everyone on the panel, the viewers at home. But I'll tell you who it's not a good night for. Roblox. Oh my sweet mother of God. Like, you thought Ubisoft was gonna be the poster boy for making every kind of comedically wrong decision known to man. Well, Roblox seems like they want to do everything, so much so that I think your grandma is gonna call up and talk about how insane these people are. Like, it's going everywhere in every kind of wrong decision that could be going out there. But in other news, we'll also be hearing a little bit about a Pac-Man event going out, celebrating the 45th anniversary. And we also got some new Legend of Zelda movie news. So it's going to be a wild night, and as we all know, I cannot do it alone. I cannot do it without the best co-host this side of YouTube, Mr. Culture Casino.
Hey, greetings, Nolan. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited. We do have quite a few stories to talk about, so I think we need to get right to them, and I think we need an expert in many different things to join us. I think we need the man, the myth, the new branded channel owner,
the
Kevin Apollo. Good day, sir. And of course, Kevin Apollo has his new channel, House of Apollo, and he promises there might be videos there sometime.
Soon. I almost made one today, but I said I shouldn't make videos out of anger.
Oh no, no. In fact, some of your best videos might be made out of anger, but I'm grateful that you're here, and I can't wait to get to our first story. But we do have a generous compatriot out there that decided we deserved to get started on the pizza factor as soon as possible. So let me post this for you, Nolan. Mark Fields drops 5 culture. Oh, no, wait, excuse me. 5. What is this? That game place. I don't know where I am. Quarters.
It's not Culture Cash.
It's not. I wish it was. But anyway, now the $5 here. I want to say thank you to Mark Fields. He says, hail to the panel, hail to the wrenches, and hail to the chat. Positive vibes to you all. Positive vibes
Thank
to
you,
you,
Mark.
my friend. And we do appreciate it. Look at all the people
we love
in the
your little
chat.
bird, too.
Oh, indeed. Abe is out there. Good to see you. And the lovely Juliet, who's got her wrench. Look out. The unwashed masses. Well, that was me until about 6:30 this morning. Extreme Meme is in the house. Good to see you. And Nolan's out there saying hi to everybody. Yes. We got Mr. House himself and Argentum. Great to see you, young lady. Thank you for being here. Carl Singh says happy Saturday evening. Yes. And Chris Dickerson. Good to see you here as well. Ninja Pat says, LOL, let Roblox fail. It's their fault for allowing predators. I agree with you. And Davina's here. Good morning or good evening, Davina.
Morning,
All
Davina.
right. We got everybody in house. So I'm going to tell me to let's kick this show off, my friend.
Let's get this show on the road. Let's have the best show this side of YouTube, and we have the best chat around. So let's rock out with the news. And before we get to our headline, I think we need some positive news. And I think people kind of slept on this one, but I think those who, have a heart and soul for the 90s are going to get really excited with this story.
I've got the heart and soul. Ask Huey Lewis. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Well, Huey and Lewis also like the news. So the title comes from us from IGN, and the title goes on to say, Microsoft celebrates Rare's 40th anniversary with a limited edition controller in a Sea of Thieves virtual hat, weeks after Everwild's cancellation. Oh, gee. Oh, that's concerning. This comes from us from Tom Phillips from IGN.
Wow.
The story goes on to say, Microsoft will sell a special edition Xbox controller to mark the 40th anniversary of legendary development studio Rare, just weeks after the company announced significant layoffs, and the cancellation of the studio's long-awaited next project, Everwild. Also available today, marks the occasion, is a Sea of Thieves Ruby hat, which you'll need to redeem via the Microsoft Rewards app. The offering comes on an uncertain time for the studio, which now looks to be doubling down on Sea of Thieves, its live service pirate game launched back in 2018. Gray Mayles, the veteran Rare designer and director, reportedly departed the studio following the end of Everwild, as did producer Lewis O'Connor. Founded in 1985, British development studio Rare is best known for its prolific era working with Nintendo on classics such as Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye 007, and Perfect Dark, a reboot of which was another victim of Microsoft's recent cuts. It's amid to all of this, the solution to everything, people, is that Rare now celebrates entering its 5th decade with a controller collaboration with Peripheral making 8-bit do that features the Rare logo and some Sea of Thieves brain. Of all games, they picked Sea of Thieves. The blue and gold colored controller is on a sale now for a limited time, priced at a whopping $89.99. My wallet's crying already. You know what? Culture. Did you ever play some Rare back in the day? You ever play a little bit of Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie? Like, what's your experience with Rare?
Yeah, of course. And I think that when we got the announcement of the failed game or the stalled games, we were a little sad. But I have to say, this is a very fancy looking controller. And it looks like there's some hidden graphics or transparent graphics on there that are, it'll be kind of easy to find, this particular controller.
What about you, Kevin? Did you get some Rare experience? What do you think of this whole controller fiasco going on right now?
The controller looks pretty freaking cool, I do have to say. And yeah, I go back with Rare, Wizards and Warriors, Battletoads Double Dragon, which was so unnecessarily difficult. I don't think I ever got past the 3rd board. What do we got? GoldenEye. I have a friend who was so proficient at GoldenEye, it actually wasn't even remotely close to being fun to play him. He was like headshotting. He could get like 100 kills in 3 minutes. It was absurd. It was absurd.
Dang campers.
Yeah. Oh, no. He would run the levels like a lunatic. It got to the point where we banned the facility. No playing the facility, no golden gun. That's how obnoxious it was. Thank God the world is not enough was a little bit easier. But what do we got? Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct, Conkers. I love Conkers. Then Banjo-Kazooie. We should be celebrating Rare. It's just unfortunate that Rare games are also very rare, and we should see more from the studio.
No, I definitely agree, but that wasn't everything that Rare had to show for. Because coming at us from Eurogamer here, if I can get a part 2 of this, if you'd like to bring it up on screen here, Mr. Culture. Here's everything else Microsoft is doing to celebrate Rare's 40th anniversary. This comes to us from Matt Wales. It turns out there's more to Microsoft's 40th birthday celebration for beloved UK studio Rare than just an ugly controller. Yeah, outside of Fallout, I don't know how much I like yellow and blue together. Xbox has now outlined its full anniversary plans, which include an Evercade cartridge collection, a 4-disc vinyl soundtrack, Sea of Thieves bits, and more. These days, Rare is best known for Sea of Thieves, but before that, it gave us the wonderful Viva Pinata, among other delights. And it goes on to talk a bit about, Rare, how they used to be cool, and now they're kind of lame. But all of which to say, there's a lot to celebrate the studio turns 40, and the current Rare owner, Microsoft, has now detailed its birthday plans. Longtime fans, for instance, have the opportunity to purchase I Am 8-Bit Rare's 40th anniversary box set, which features 39 tracks across 4 discs. It costs $100 USD and includes 2.5 hours of music spanning the likes of Sea of Thieves, Viva Pinata, Battletoads, Banjo-Kazooie, Connect Sports, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Jet Force Gemini, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Blast Corps, and Cameo Elements of Power. So they've really got a lot of their most iconic games there. Microsoft has also teamed up with Evercade to release a new cartridge collection featuring 12 vintage Rare titles. Specifically, it includes Jetpack Lunar Jetman, Attic, Saber Wolf, Underworld, Night Lore, Gunfight, RC Pro Aim, Cobra Triangle, Battletoads, Battletoads Arcade, and Conker's Pocket Tales. Holy Toledo! With pre-orders going live on 30th of September. Elsewhere, Fangaver has a wide range, but disappointingly via Pinata Averse. Merchandise collection, which runs from t-shirts and vinyl soundtracks to keyrings and King Conquer plushies. I'm struggling to resist. But I think one of the biggest, kind of the coolest things here is if you need more intimate celebrations, Microsoft just launched a new Xbox Gamer Picks and dynamic background featuring who's who of Rare characters old and new. Furthermore, Rare fans able to make the pilgrimage to the English town of Ashby de la Zoc, Lancashire, can gaze upon a blue heritage plaque, which has been unveiled on the building where Tim and Chris Stamper co-founded the studio in 1985. And here's a nice image of that, which I'll be real with you guys. I would love to see that in person. Culture, I'm going to go this to you first here. Do you think Rare's doing enough right now to kind of turn eyes away from, all the canceled games, that whether that was their fault or not, with all these crazy celebrations? Or do you think this is just more insult to they're just not who they used to be and their legacy is a bit different right now? What do you think?
I think they're, first of all, they're nothing like what they used to be. And they are going to be interfered with their new, oligarch owners. So you're going to end up in probably a field of disappointment if you were expecting anything of high regard to come out of them. I think this is a distraction at best to guide people away from all the terrible news they had to drop recently. And I think that it's a kind of hollow sucker for those that have had all this the game development, everything else taken away from them. And again, it's you just blame their new oligarch master for all of this, and it's the biggest problem we have in gaming right now.
Yep, amen to that.
How about you, Kevin? What's your 2 cents on this whole ordeal?
Yeah, I'm with culture. I mean, it's a nice distraction, but it's a distraction. The fact is, you have a company that has such a massive library that used to be pretty innovative, and since they got absorbed into one of the worst evil companies on the planet, they've kind of, it's a nothing burger. They just exist. It's like someone decided, oh, we're going to buy this because it's something that people know, onto the, and now they just sit there, and anytime someone wants to do something cool, someone goes, no, you're just going to sit there and collect dust and make people long for better days when giant companies weren't allowed to gobble up smaller studios and, stifle innovation and fun.
Very well said. I feel like they are definitely the poster child when it comes to, Microsoft's controversial endeavors, in acquiring companies. I mean, Rare used to be the gold standard of what you bought a Nintendo system for outside of the house of Mario. In the 90s, let's not forget, we have fond memories of the 64 these days, that being the Nintendo 64. But the reality was, PlayStation was kicking them till the cows came home. The 64 was underperforming from their expectations. But they managed to hold on to Rare, and they were making an astronomically huge difference for the console. And compared to PlayStation, everyone had a little bit different of a PlayStation childhood growing up. Someone might have grew up on Twisted Metal, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot. I can name probably a good 30 other games. Nintendo players, they all played kind of the same kind of games because that's what was coming out, because there wasn't a lot of third-party support. They played the GoldenEyes. They played the Mario Kart 64s. Like, a lot of them had a lot of great multiplayer potential because everyone was playing the same kind of games. And these days, I don't know if that many people know just how huge Rare was, and now they're just another company that's getting their games canceled left and right. I am happy to see them embracing their heritage here, but I can't help but feel like right now Rare is just there to be a big poster for a brand they've acquired, as opposed to a great content farm for the next several years. And I can't help but feel a little concerned, but you know what? In an era where we see things like, Take-Two, Midway, and stuff go out after a few years, it's nice to see the fact they are even still around, even if they aren't really the same. Because just being able to see like this promo image where you got Banjo-Kazooie front and center, I think that's charming because it shows a lot of the 90 charm is still alive. Culture, I'm going to give you the final word before we wrap up this topic.
Okay.
So,
look, the problem with Microsoft is they're a fully corrupted company from the ground up. So everything that they do is always going to be brought under extraordinary and much deserved extra scrutiny. We're looking at why are they going about doing certain things. of course, I already mentioned the idea that this particular controller and other stuff is a distraction. Rare was a behemoth in the early days, especially of Nintendo, and it was the company that kind of designated whether or not you were going to get invested in a given console. There were a lot of oopsies that came out of not getting Rare to develop for you early enough in your console cycle. But at the same time, again, that crew that used to be there isn't there anymore, and they've actively forced them out. The developers that were there, they're not there. The people who would have institutional memory for the things that were being developed, they're not there. It's why all of these companies are having to go back to the drawing board whenever they do one of these remakes. They either didn't maintain the game engine, or they didn't keep anybody that knew how to actually develop for it. Rare's not any different. You might as well have brought in a high school kid to try to redevelop a Banjo Kazooie or any of the other stuff there. Right? They're just not there. They're not capable of it. So I'm just going to say it serves Microsoft right, but at the same time, it kind of serves Rave Software right, because they allowed themselves to be conquered. And that's kind of how we're going to have to start looking at these acquisitions anymore. These aren't acquisitions. These aren't mergers in any way. They're straight up conquering of the superior developer. And that's all Microsoft does now. In fact, I need this administration to pay more attention to rolling back mergers and dividing these companies back into their smaller, digestible bits. Because when you have too much power, you eliminate too much competition. You might as well be the very monopoly that you've been accused of and convicted of on more than one occasion.
Well said. Kevin, you sound like you wanted to chime in with something?
No, I was just reveling in all the wonderful right things that Culture was saying, because it is really a shame what we've watched happen. And I said it before, it's, we're so deep in these console cycles with all this technology, but there's no real innovation. Everything's just a glorified iPhone release at this point. And this is happening because we don't have these different studios competing and pushing the boundaries of the technology that exists and forcing people to develop, new things, new stories, new IPs, resurrecting old IPs that are fondly held in your memory holes. I firmly agree. We really need to find a way to undo a lot of this greedy subjugation of talent, because these people go away, and Culture is right. They don't have the institutional knowledge. They don't have the ability to push forward because it's gone. It's gone. So at this point, I do think we'd probably be better off getting a bunch of high school kids to redo these games, because they'll probably do them better than half the people who are employed now.
Well said. We live in an era now with YouTube where people have grown up, because, these games are sort of evergreen, quality, they pass these games down for generations. I did not grow up with Banjo-Kazooie back in the day, but what got me interested in it was seeing all these tons of YouTube videos on the subject matter and everyone talking about how good of a game it was. And then I played it, and I honestly really enjoyed what I played. I thought it was a quality game. Was it better than Mario 64? Personally, I didn't think so, but it really earned its status as a classic. And we have a whole new regime that have, learned so much from the people that developed it themselves, from these documentaries and the people, connecting with fans, And I think there's a lot more to that than just a brand name that Microsoft has acquired. But who knows? Let's see what the future holds, for this company and the fans out there. And there could be a lot of potential that maybe we'll be seeing some of these IPs return one day. And if it happens, we'll be sure to cover it on That Game Place. All right, Culture. Well, I get the next story. I think we need to know what these wonderful people in the chat are saying, because, they're the fuel of this channel. I can't do that. I mean, I don't know if we could pay the electric bill in the arcade without them. Am I wrong?
I think you're right, and our arcade uses an awful lot of electricity, believe it or not. So,
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, yeah. And Ruby Hoob is out there. I want to say thanks to Ruby Hoob for a $2 super duper chat. The quarters are starting to flow in the arcade. And she says, hi, all. Have a great time. You too, dear. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your amazing support. The
and
balance.
Thank you for your cat.
Yeah, that's right. The balance of these folks are saying, hey, sell rare. So Joanna Dark doesn't have a chiseled jaw.
Hey, she could be Batman.
Well, I'm getting tired of that. Let me tell you. Yeah, and again, I mean, if the developers are lazy enough not to change generic settings for character A, character B, screw them. This is it. Maybe it wasn't all the DEI, ESG baloney sausage, or the Rossicism, or the activism. Maybe it was laziness, because they brought in all these inexperienced people without merit. And they don't want to, change wireframes or whatever else on character mains. Just a thought. Just a thought. Rare needs to be able to make more games. Sea of Thieves shouldn't be their only goose right now. Yeah. Yeah. We don't need another Bungie. Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't also need these games taking so ungodly long to make either. Like Sea of Thieves, didn't that take them like way longer than compared to the 90s where they were just going, game, 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 you get a game. It was like Oprah up in here. I know the graphics of the industry has changed, but we were going to need more than just like, hi guys, it's me and my one game here at the party.
Yeah, but sometimes you have a pretty good game. I mean, Halo's a pretty good game. Just the problem is they stopped doing Halo things with Halo. Then they started doing activist things with Halo. Yeah. That's not a good thing to do with Halo.
Activism, that's not a great feature.
No, hacktivism, maybe. Yeah, so you can show everybody what GTA 6 is going to look like, and some of the story elements behind it, and maybe why you're delaying it for the third time to change all the stuff that everybody's going to hate. Anyway. There we have our wonderful guests. Thanks for being there in the audience. We appreciate you. But we have more stories to trudge through, I believe.
Wonderful. Let's go ahead and get on into this thing. Culture, you ready to rock out this bad boy?
And here we go.
All right. This article coming out from That Park Place. You might have heard of them. It's by the wonderful Marvin Montanaro, the legend himself. And the headline states, Roblox sued by the state of Louisiana, alleges platform facilities endangerment of kids. This is our headline story, folks. And man, Roblox, you're getting sued by a state. Like, Culture, did you get sued by a state this week? Did that happen at any point to you this week?
Not yet, but I'm expecting it soon. Very soon. I think everybody should be.
Yeah. We'll keep tabs on that. I'm looking at you, Nebraska. Anyways, The article goes on to say, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel announced on Thursday a comprehensive lawsuit against the Roblox Corporation, accusing the popular gaming platform of enabling the endangerment of children and failing to prioritize safety measures. The suit filed in the 21st Judicial District Court in Livingston Parish marks what Muriel believes to be the first state-level action of its kind against the company. The complaint alleges that Roblox, which bills itself as a top gaming site for kids and teens, has created an environment rife with predators and harmful content by neglecting basic safeguards, according to the filing. The platform facilitates the distribution of harmful materials and allows predators to interact freely with minors, often leading to real-world harm. Investigators point to a recent case in Livingston Parish on July 15, 2025, when a suspect was arrested for possessing illegal content while actively using Roblox and voice-altering technology to pose as a young girl and lure children. All right, before we get into more about this lawsuit details and all that, I would like to say, none of us are lawyers here, but we are here to give our opinion on the news. And speaking of opinions, Mr. Kevin Apollo, I know you're a dad. What's your stance on Roblox in your household? Do you think it's just a blocky good time?
I detest Roblox. It was I was very upset when my wife brought this pox upon our doorstep. I get it. It was lockdown time and they needed something to do, but I do not like microtransactions. I find them to be predatory in nature. They are out of control. If you're free to play, I don't think that a person should be sentenced to a purgatory-esque type existence where every 5 minutes you have to drop a ton of money for imaginary money to buy an imaginary thing in a game that has people who look like blocks. The other thing that super irritates me is you've got these predators running around, and this company has decided that they're going to protect these predators. But if you get if a 12-year-old so much just drops an S bomb, and they say it out loud or they type it, they're banned. They're banned. And banned very quickly. So where are our priorities here? Are we going to be mad at some middle schoolers for experimenting with having some salty language, or are we going to go after people who are taking advantage of these kids, and not just middle schoolers, but younger kids too? Because all these different rooms have kids of different ages in there, and the reality of it is we live in an existence now where parents are unfortunately oftentimes too busy to be lording over what the kids are doing, and they're trusting that the game that's supposed to be safe for kids is in fact safe for kids. So I don't understand what the priority breakdown here is, and why we're going after the people who are doing, frankly, the Lord's work by busting these creeps and making them pay for being creeps. I am reveling in watching this game crash and burn. I hope this happens more, and I hope this teaches a lesson to people who want to allow these predators to run free. You're going to mess around, and someone's going to find out, and good for you. I hope more states jump on.
And it shows, that there's been a major need, for extra levels of like child protection. And I've been very open before. I'm very much like one of those where it's like, hey, don't use the guise of protecting kids as a way to be like, you know what? I don't like pretty girl in bikini in video game. I want this censored because I can't monitor what my kid does. I've never been that kind of person. But the reality is a lot of these companies have exploited the fact now that it's like, hey, we expect it to be industry standard that we want the kids on these iPads, and it's normal for them to already be playing online gaming. I wasn't playing online gaming back in the day till I was a older player because, my parents didn't want me, chatting to a bunch of random strangers in a Call of Duty lobby, And there's reasons why there's a lot of stereotypes about a lot of the things that were said in said lobby. And it seems to me, feel free to push back if I'm wrong here, gentlemen, but it feels like Roblox seems like they're more concerned if someone's singing a Biggie Smalls album song than what they are about people who might actually be trying to manipulate the children here. Before I get into the lawsuit, Culture, would you like to weigh in on anything on the overall effect Roblox has on children in our society? Because it is a darn popular game.
Yeah, it's been detrimental since its very onset, since it first arrived here, since we first got it in our midst. But as far as the fact that it targets kids with, the ability to drop money, but it allows others to target kids. It's a conversation that has been being had fairly regularly around this particular game. We called this out over a year ago on this very channel that Roblox facilitated the access to children for people who shouldn't have access to children in any way, and this should be codified in law. But what's more reprehensible is the fact that they don't do anything to prevent it. They attack the people who are essentially observing this behavior, calling it out, and reporting it to law enforcement. Roblox is also one of the companies working with Visa and MasterCard to destroy your access to any other type of game, doing very illegal things with which Visa and MasterCard have acknowledged they don't have the power to do, and are actually going to catch themselves up by the tail because the current administration is not down with debanking or these kinds of practices when nothing illegal is being conducted. So instead of helping with the illegal things that are being facilitated on Roblox, MasterCard and Visa have turned a blind eye and, have also been patronized, believe it or not, by Roblox. So this is a big problem when you have conflicts of interest and you control the purse strings, regardless. Roblox is one of the reasons why I quit Gilded. In fact, that's the primary reason why I walked away. I was never going to touch Roblox because of its terrible reputation for being a way to get in touch with young people, which you never want to be known as that platform. But they didn't seem to mind. But once they decided to take away my chat room, my Gilded, my ability to have a community and play games and do things with them, I quit. I walked away. I walked away from tens of thousands of people back when I had, large social media presences, because of the fact that they were going to use Roblox as their authentication database. And that was a no bueno, not happening. So I'm back on Discord, and you know what? While the site's not as big as I would hope, it's growing, and because of great people out there. But hopefully we get back to being a monster, and we can all play games together and share stories and do things a little more wholesome than they do over on Roblox. So those are my thoughts. I'm done.
No, you're good. Hey, I knew when we were going into this story, like this week with the Roblox news, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get some good culture casino rants going here. I was excited. I was excited for this one, and I hope that we get into a spot, because I think most sane people out there want to have a world where adults can happily play their Grand Theft Auto, with all the crazy, quirky things in there, and yet kids can still be safe, playing their games that are going to, give them a chance to interact with other kids, even in the digital age, but still, parents can feel safe. Not that, you should never let a video game be your babysitter. Just let Mortal Kombat is not a great babysitter, and neither is Roblox, but something to where parents can still feel safe. And I feel like there was a time when, even when a lot of the majority of parents didn't understand games as well, there was a lot more that it was more obvious on what's a kid's game and what's an adult game, and no matter what Fox News told you. But yet, it seems like right now, companies have done a lot to kind of blur those lines and exploit what they can, and it's going to become a lot trickier to, change things. But thankfully, I think we're seeing a lot of pushback from these gaming communities, and we should be seeing a lot of changes on the horizon. And so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so we're going to pick back up to Roblox here in a second, but I would like to take a break here to catch up a bit in the chat, see what these people have to say, because they seem to have some good takes on Roblox here. Culture, would you like to bring up these beautiful people?
I got to stop doing that. I got to stop doing that. So look, I first of all, I want to bring up our super chat first, which is from Gory-Eyed Beast, a Canadian $2.25, getting us closer to being able to maybe get a piece of pizza away from Kevin. I doubt there will be a Jack Black Roblox movie. No. And I have to tell you right now, I'm not sure it would earn much, because after we got done with it and, telling everybody what Roblox is about, I don't think it would have, it would probably be losing subscribers, to be fair. Thank you for that, Gory-Eyed Beast. We got a few more comments flowing in. I appreciate all of your support of the channel, folks. Many parents expect everyone else to monitor and parent their kids. Argentum, I understand that, and I understand from where you're coming. This even happened with parents asking workers to watch their kids when I worked at Macy's.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Maybe if it was a J.C. Penney. No, I'm kidding. But
No,
really.
Seriously. And Argentum says that your Discord link doesn't work, Culture. We refreshed it because it timed out. It was over 30 days. So I think Jed Ravenwolf actually reposted it, but I will make sure you get it soon enough. We've got the House of Apollo. That's this guy down here. Saying,
I know that guy.
I can't laugh too hard. I have no idea how to use Discord. You guys, just because Mr. Tickle Trunk says something doesn't mean he's right. First of all, I'm too young to be a boomer, and second, it is also a site. It is a platform. It's a site. You can go to discord.com. It will work, or GG Discord or something like that. Anyway, again, maybe I'm a little boomery, but I'm not in the right age group. It's
Boomer adjacent.
It's Roblox. Well, Roblox, don't care. But thank you for the update. I'll try to do this, Suro Gunner. I'll try to do it.
Nice clippy there, sir. All right, we ready to get into this next story?
Yeah. I don't know. Let me see. I Know You Love Me. What's worse, I'm autistic, so it's harder to. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I will try. By the way, I love your paper clippy guy, because I used to use the paper clippy when I didn't know how to did something way back in the day. So, you can't access
mascot for that gameplay. It's like a little clippy.
Tickle trunk. I made the clippy myself. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Anyway. All right. So, sorry, I'm having a conversation with the chat. I'll stop. Because we have stories to do. I need to stop it.
It's all good.
All right. We're going to go.
We make time for them around here. It's all good culture.
We're going to go harder in the paint on Roblox. Okay?
Oh, that's right. There's a part 2 to this, everybody. All right. So, Roblox chief safety officer sells $800K in stock amid backlash over banning vigilant predator hunter. Is that not a title? This is coming from Marvin Montenario over at That Park Place. Great website. You should definitely be checking out. And, they've been getting all this pushback, from the state of Louisiana, suing them for how they're handling, these child predator groups. And now it seems like the people behind the game, or at least, have investments in the game, are taking notice, and they seem a bit scared. The article goes on to say, in an unfolding controversy that has sparked widespread debate on child safety in online gaming, Roblox Corporation Chief Safety Officer Matthew Kaufman, apologies if I say his name wrong, sold over $800,000 worth of company stock shortly after the platform issued a cease and desist order to a prominent YouTuber known for exposing child predators. The timing has raised questions among users and advocates as the company faces criticism for prioritizing its image over proactive child protection measures. Now, we are very familiar with right now, where a lot of people are using the guild of child protection to go against any game they don't like. Well, this is a rare instance where it seems like most people on the internet are actually very much against what's going on here, and they actually want a big company to ironically think of the kids for once. The article goes on to say, background on the Vigilante effort. Michael, a 22-year-old creator who operates under the YouTube and X handle at Real Schlep, has built a following by posing as minors on Roblox to catch and expose individuals attempting to groom children. His efforts have led to tangible safety results, including the arrest of 6 predators within the Roblox community over the past year. In a video titled, Roblox has threatened to sue me for protecting kids, posted on August 9th of 2025, Schlep detailed his work stating, within the last year, me and my team have gotten 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. He emphasized that nearly all of those arrested admitted to prior offenses against other Roblox users. Schlepp's motivation stems from personal trauma, and it gives a bit, about his backstory. The poor dude's been through some stuff and all that. I was groomed on Roblox as a kid by a child predator. He posted a plea to Senator Ted Cruz on X, highlighted his commitment to preventing similar incidents and improving Roblox safety. His team has collaborated with law enforcement, reporting cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, also known as the NCMEC, and appearing on local news to demonstrate evidence of predatory behavior. So it seems this guy's been getting a lot of note here. One notable case involved tipping off police about a 21-year-old attempting to lure a 13-year-old, resulting in arrest. However, things take a very interesting turn. The cease and desist and ban. On August 9th of 2025, Roblox sent Schlep a cease and desist letter accusing him of violating platform policies by engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations, sharing personal identifiable information, and directing users off platform. The letter shared publicly stated that his actions are exposing our users to increased risk, and warned of account closures prohibiting him from creating new ones to evade enforcement. Roblox further claims the diligent effort like Schlepp's increased the risk of more users being exposed to bad actors. In response, Schlepp refuted the claims, explained in his video that his methods adhere to standard predator catching protocols where predators are supposed to be the ones talking lustfully to you. He expressed frustration over Roblox inaction on reports, saying, every account I've ever made on Roblox has been terminated, and Roblox sent a cease and desist letter to me. Not a single Roblox predator I've gotten arrested has faced an action similar to this. I have no words. And so we're going to take a pause on that. I know there are definitely some real world instances where, unfortunately, while there might be some good intent, some of these, shows can sometimes get in the way of legit searches, trying to stop that when it comes to law enforcement. There's a big responsibility going with that. And unfortunately, I can say we do live in a world where a lot of people tend to chase clicks over, actually legitimately stopping these kind of crimes going on. Thankfully, I do not believe that was the case with Schlep here, but Roblox's response to this seems to be gaining a lot of backlash, as it seems like there's kind of a hypocrisy of how he's being treated compared to some of these apparent predators. Kevin, what's your 2 cents here after learning a bit more about what's going on personally with Schlep here? Like, do you think Roblox has something going on here, or do you think they're just pure psycho brick people?
Apparently they're psycho brick people. Or they are outlandishly incompetent. If someone, as someone who has run businesses since I was 20, if someone were to leave me an email that said, "Hey, listen, just so that you know, there's a kid out here and he's busting predators in our game, and we don't have to pay him for it." I don't think I'm going to ban all of his accounts and allow the predators to run free, because it sends a message that the predator's money is too green for us to want to stop them, and because you're taking away our dollar bucks, you got to go, kid. Sorry. Listen, we all remember what the world was like the first time we heard the words "have a seat, have a seat." Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. They figured out the formula. We all understand what's happening here. We understand why there's a need for this kind of policing. The world has been a really wonky place since chat windows. Since AOL and AIM popped up. That was a messaging service for those of you who are too young to know what that is. Where you could type words and send them instantly to a friend.
Yeah, ASL.
So it's like I don't understand what the end game here is. So you're gonna brand them of can we say the V word on YouTube?
I would appreciate you avoid anything controversial on this channel.
If you want to punish a concerned citizen exercising their
a vigilant person.
Yes. Doing their due diligence with a V.
Yes.
But let the bad guys roam around. It's backwards. It's backwards.
It is,
and it's stock destroying. So have fun with that.
And
you know what? Go ahead.
Culture.
Sorry.
You go.
No, I was just going to say it, and they absolutely deserve it. I mean, these creepy humans need to never be around children. Sorry, there should be no way in your everyday life you should be within 100 yards of a child, if not more. And if that means that you can't go to a theme park, oh well. If it means you can't, you have to take one specific route to work to avoid all school zones, oh well. I don't want you anywhere. I don't want you near a junior high school. First of all, because your age ranges can vary or be specific to an individual kind of creepy dude, or I guess lady technically. I think that these are people who have very dark intentions all the time. So it's simple. If you have these people in your game, they've been identified as such, they should be added to your you cannot play this game list. Sorry. Super Canadian sorry.
I think a very key point what you just said is like the you cannot play this game list there culture, because there was a time, like I remember it very vividly, where like, say you're very protective, let's say grandma hated everything about that darn computer box in the other end of the room because, the moment you pull up AOL, you're about to get stalked and tracked down by some crazy person online. The old days of never show yourself on the internet. Now we live at a very different age, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. whatever have you. It's terrible to see how, there used to be a time where it was kind of known like, hey, there's some really weird people out there that can really hurt you. There's a lot of really good things on there, but there are people out there that can hurt you. And you had to, do what you can as a parent, to police these sort of things, or even as an individual, you got to watch out for people that are trying to, catfish you and hurt you and exploit you. However, now it seems like these people, these predators, see Roblox, it's like the number one like children thing, period. I don't think there's any bigger children product for it. And it just shows that, it's already going to be the number one target as by being the biggest, but yet they have done so little to really enforce, that they have a high standard of what is tolerable and not. Because, things are unfortunately going to slip through in this society. There are some people out there who are going to find workarounds. They always do. But there's more pushback that can happen with this. And, we do live in an age where we've seen a lot of pushback, usually from people who aren't really into video games. And a lot of, honestly, I would use the term activists here, where they're like, hey, a lot of people, when they're pushing back against certain kinds of child protection laws or something like that, they're like, oh, so you don't care about the children. Well, I think in the past week, we have actually seen quite the opposite, where it shows a lot of people, a lot of gamers out there really care about the protection of these kids, but yet it seems like some of the people at the top are doing very little to protect it. And I can't say I can been in the shoes of the CEO or anyone in powerful positions here, but I think there's a strong reason why there's so much pushback going on. I don't think it's all smoke and mirrors, because Roblox has been around for a long time, and it has built a lot of reputations, both as a game that kids love, but also as a game parents hate. And I don't think it's just because, there's some questionable creative decisions. I think it's because there's a lot of people there that a lot of parents don't feel comfortable with. Am I wrong on that, Kevin?
No, I think you're 100% right. Listen, at the end of the day, people are upset because I believe the expectation is, if I am a service provider and I cater to children, I think it's fair to assume that you have something that resembles a fiduciary responsibility to protect the children if your service is aimed towards children. So the fact that they aren't doing the due diligence needed to root out the bad actors, because it just is what it is. There's always going to be a bad actor, but you're not doing what you need to do to root them out. You're punishing the people who are who are trying to do something about it for you and not asking you for a dime. There is a moral and ethical obligation that's not being met, and they're going to suffer consequence for it. And the fact that they have high-ranking leaders who are I don't believe for an instant that this was this was a coincidence, like JP Morgan not jumping on the Titanic. This guy ran out because he knows that doom's a coming. So if you know that you did something wrong, that means that everybody else knows that you guys are doing something wrong. So as far as I'm concerned, there need to be really, frankly, very harsh consequences, because companies who generate content aimed towards children need to do a better job. I don't think it's unreasonable. And yes, parents do need to return to being a heck of a lot more diligent and paying attention to what the kids are doing. But, again, not every parent is informed enough to want to kind of, we make a lot of broad assumptions, and anybody who's watched content on the Disney Channel over the last 5 years is kind of understanding, oh, wait, I need to be paying attention a little bit more. We are a long ways away from grandma saying that TV box is rotting your brains.
Very, very well said. I cannot agree more. And, before I get you to weigh in a bit here, Culture, I would like to talk a little bit about Roblox's response to this matter, because they have defended their action in a blog post titled "How Roblox Partners with Law Enforcement," published on August 6th of 2025. The company acknowledges that Vigilante Group may have the public's interest at heart, but argues their methods are harmful. Actions taken by Vigilante groups increase the risk of more users being exposed to bad actors and can delay enforcement efforts by Roblox and law enforcement, the post states. Roblox emphasizes that law enforcement professionals are best positioned to investigate potential crimes and urge users to report violations through official channels, such as NCMEC's Cyber Tip Tool or Roblox Trusted Flagger program. the company's highlighted its proactive measures. As part of the proactive moderation system, we've leveraged advanced detection and rapid response protocols to report possible illicit activities, violent threats, or other real-life harm to law enforcement. The Post said, "We are focused on relentless innovation, and our work on safety is never done." Roblox partners with the FBI and NCMEC to escalate threats and improve safety, but critics point out that with over 70 million daily users, 70 million people, and only about 3,000 moderators, the platform struggles to keep up. You know, I'm all for that movie trope of us versus the world, but this just kind of seems ridiculous. Culture, what's your closing thoughts on this?
I hope Roblox continues to expose themselves to further scrutiny because they have been such an underhanded corporation for so very long. And I hope that their ties to Visa, MasterCard censorship and other baloney sausage are further exposed. And I think that the fact that all of these terrible acting companies are still in business, and the fact that Visa, MasterCard is still doing payments for the Only Friends company should be proof enough that this is a targeted bunch of garbage that we have to deal with. And Steam did the right thing for as long as they could, and I can't wait for the administration to get involved. Those are my thoughts. And I honestly hope that Roblox has to shut down. That's what I hope.
Well, we'll see what the future holds for that. And if it does shut down one day, we'll definitely be covering it on that gameplace. But it's a pretty big behemoth, you know. When you focus on, you know, children's entertainment, you know, you play with a theoretical fire. You know, you never know, like, what could be the thing that's going to doom you in the end. And they have a lot of controversy here. We'll see how their company will react to this and see if there's what kind of changes are going to come, you know, for parents or with children's entertainment in the future, because we've seen it evolve a lot over the years. And I do firmly believe that a lot of the company structures you see within this country, you know, where it's like, you know, whatever we can to maximize profits, doesn't seem to have the best interests of kids at heart, and those kind of practices look worse and worse when it's with kids. That's my personal opinion here, but you know what? We'll keep you updated on how this keeps unfolding, because I think there's a lot more of the story than what we're currently seeing here now. All right, Culture, you want to bring up some wonderful super chats? Give us a little bit of palate cleanser from all that heavy stuff. We can't hear you, good sir. We can't hear.
I keep doing that, apparently. Maybe I am a boomer. Maybe there's something to that, Mr. Tickletrunk. But yeah, there was a reason we were mispronouncing words, because, believe it or not, you still can't get away from censorship. Just saying. You know, especially if you're MasterCard and Visa. Let's see. We've decided to protect the creeps. Thanks, Roblox. That's right, Corey at Peace. Gunner says they keep triggering the trap card. Streisand effect. That's right. Yeah, good for them. Ninja Pat says developers need to walk away. I agree. Go do that elsewhere. And it's great to see Morgan King joining the chat and everybody else that walked in the door. Thanks for being here. For those of you on the X side of the equation, we appreciate you. You're watching us on the That Park Place Network on X, and well, pretty soon going to have a delivery system to Rumblin', Stumbling, Bumbling. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you, X supporters.
That's right. We appreciate you. And for those of you not aware, we go live currently. We're going live on Saturdays. That may change. We've been live many different days of the week at various times. So keep tuned in to the channel, and do remember that the big guy down here, the Apollo man, is the House of Apollo on YouTube, and his channel is up and coming. So much so that he has yet to make a video, and we're still trying to grow his fan base. So check out the House of Apollo on YouTube, and find
Apollo
this.
Was already strong and scary enough as it is. If he had a fan base around him, I'm gonna scare for my life.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But then you also have yourself, Mr. Nolan Thunder, also has a channel. You can find him under Nolan thunder, believe it or not. It's super creative. And he just did and just dropped or is just dropping a Lost in the Files.
Yes, this Tuesday following T3PO, set for premiere at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 13-month development, documentary/mockumentary, such parody, whatever you want to call it, on Super Mario 64 being developed with an evil, experimental, artificial intelligence, making every copy unique from the other. There's going to be a lot of creative voice work going into it from some of your favorite That Park Place contributors. There's going to be a lot of people outside of That Park Place, a lot of creative people I know from different points of the internet. It's going to be a big production, and if you like a lot of the 1990s B-movie horror type stuff you used to see back in the day, Jonathan Frakes, Ancient Aliens type stuff, you're going to get a kick out of this. It's called Every Copy of Mario 64 is Personalized, Lost in the Files. It's going to be this Tuesday, August 19th at 4:30 p.m. immediately following T3PO Live on That Pod Place, so be sure to check it out. Thank you for all your support, and thank you to everyone at That Game Place in the chat right now. You guys are on fire tonight. Am I wrong, Culture? I think they're on fire.
No, you are 100% right. In fact, we have one of our wrenches getting in the habit of dropping a $2, not dollars, pounds sterling. It's proper money, £2 saying, remember to like, subscribe, and share. That's right. Hit that thumbs up button. While you're down there, subscribe, turn the red button to gray, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything, because more and more will be coming your way. It sounds like there's plans afoot to not only give you this live stream every week, but to get back into daily content, or nearly daily content. And I know, because I probably have to be, editing it. So there's that. We got Gory Eyed Beast for $2 Canadian. That's right. Very soon, this $2 Canadian will buy you an ounce of steel. That's right. Anyway, just kidding, Gory Eyed Beast. But batteries, controller, system, and game not included. Well, that's true. That's true. At least you're getting Lost in the Files, and Lost in the Files is golden.
Thank you, friend. Thank you.
Yep.
Maybe not as good as a 6-minute daily, but it's good.
I don't know about that, but we do. That's not true. You do great work. I always brag on you, but Argentum says there's plenty to be fired up about with all this. There truly is. We have a lot of talented people that make up that Park Place network and all the amazing talent that surrounds that Park Place and WDW Pro. We have band together to give you amazing things. And then there's Lauren and Apollo. So you should check that out. It was last night. It was beautiful. It was brilliant. It was lovely. And you got Trish. We had Trish on the Barbie too, or maybe you didn't show that after all. Anyway,
we did. It was a big
okay, good. So yeah, I climbed back in bed after that. So but we have more to tell you. We have more stories. We have great things. I am currently marking all the super chats with a heart emoji and the thumbs up emojis, because you all deserve those emojis, and we appreciate you. All right, Nolan, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. I want to say thank everyone for the super chats, because you guys, that mucho dinero, it really helps us at the arcade. We're building up that pizza stock, and we're going to reward you guys. We're going to bring on some good news. Nothing about Roblox being stupid for once.
Really?
Oh,
so yes. You want me to push the button?
Push the button. Push the button. Yay!
Bam. There you go.
Right. Coming at you from IGN by Tom Phillips. The Legend of Zelda movie's social media account highlights the weirdness of Nintendo's franchise being made by Sony Pictures. I was gonna say this was gonna be some good news, but I don't know. Like, I like it when my video game companies are, mad at each other. Now they're being buddy-buddy. This is weird. Anyways, the article goes on to say, Nintendo fans have reacted in surprise and amusement at the fact that Sony is running the official social media account for the Legend of Zelda movie, and specifically the fact that it follows the official PlayStation account rather than the official for Nintendo. The official The Legend of Zelda movie profile on X/Twitter is verified directly by Sony Pictures' own official account, seemingly confirming its legitimacy. It recently sprung into life, retweeting various articles about the film's production and casting news. Oh man, I just hope that they're retweeting a bunch of really dated, like, 1990s commercials where they were, like, really in your face, like that old Crash Bandicoot ad where he's like, hey, plumber boy, your greatest nightmare has arrived. Just giving some little subtle hints there. Hey, Kevin, you look like you got something to say on this. What do you think? Does this hurt your 90s kid in there?
Oh, I love this. This is 50-cent levels of petty right now. I love this kind of stuff.
What about you, Culture? What do you think of this? Do you think we're overblowing this, or do you think we need to tell them, you guys are not supposed to be this petty. Get along, guys. Get along.
Yeah, I would like them to get along for these purposes. I mean, competition is good. It breeds better and better stuff for us. But I mean, the weirdness of Nintendo's franchising being made by Sony Pictures, I'd prefer Universal. But regardless.
I don't know the strategy. Like, back in my day, you used to be like, oh, those PlayStation CDs, we don't use those because they'll give you a rash or something like that. I don't know. Like,
I never actually tested that on my skin. I don't think I would have been compelled to see if they caused me a rash. But all I know is it was a Tuesday.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Thank you for that. And I also don't use those. Don't use those as an ointment. And please also do not lick Nintendo Switch cartridges. I don't know how the Switch 2 cartridges taste, but I've heard they're really repulsive. But what's not repulsive? This article. So currently, the official account only follows just 2 others. Sony Pictures itself, understandably, as the company is co-financing and distributing the film, and Sony's video game division, PlayStation. That's right, not Nintendo, which created the series and whose consoles host its games, but PlayStation. If they had just followed Sony Pictures and nobody else, no one would have bat an eye, maybe some memes. But the fact that they went out of their way for PlayStation, I wonder if there was some unpaid intern that was just like, let's just cause a little chaos. Take the chaos route today. What were you going to say, Kevin?
That intern definitely got their money's worth.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be worth the job for that alone. To quote, Nintendo has nothing to do with the Zelda series. Everyone knows that, wrote ex-user Stealth, highlighting the odd situation. He has a lot of sarcasm there. Is the admin trolling lol? Wrote another Zelda fan response. Last month, Nintendo legend Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed the Zelda movie's 2 main stars as production on the project begins to ramp up. This is Miyamoto, wrote Miyamoto. I am pleased to announce that for the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda, Zelda will be portrayed by Bo Bragason's son and Link by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth's son. I am very much looking forward to seeing both of them on the big screen. And, when we get to the big screen, and the article just kind of talks a little bit more background context for the Zelda movie, I think we all know that it's going to be here, and it's going to be the second greatest moment of our lives after the Mario movie, or maybe the third if we finally get the Sydney Sweeney Metroid movie I've been begging for the past year. But Kevin, do you think, what's it going to be like when you're actually in the movie theater? Because I remember when the Super Mario Brothers movie came out about 2 years ago at the time of this recording, I remember they had this big Illumination thing where they had like a bunch of different Illumination characters from like Despicable Me and whatever have you, other franchises. They all got in this big fictional movie theater and they were sitting down with popcorn to watch the Mario movie. And they had like a big Illumination bumper. Do you think there's any chance we could see Sony Pictures checking their archive and be like, okay, let's get, Crash Bandicoot, let's get whoever else they own, these days, maybe Little Big Planet up in there and have them watching the Mario movie, maybe a little shade. What do you think, Kevin?
He's muted.
You're muted, my friend.
I'm muted.
Sony's censoring us again. No.
I think he's self-censoring.
I say go all in. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Make the pettiness of the account actually be something that's fun. Let it be some light joshing, and then get everybody excited to go to the theater and have all these characters watching, this big momentous movie, because that's what it's gonna be, right? This is The Legend of Zelda. It's a juggernaut of a franchise. People waiting for this forever. and it should be something special if they do it right. So I say just go all in, because if Zelda does well, hey, that creates another opportunity for someone else to kind of come in. And we've been eating pretty good. Sonic, Sonic 1, 2, and 3, Mario Brothers. Let's keep it going. I'm going to ignore that Mortal Kombat debacle, but it at least got us a sequel. So we'll see.
What do you think, Culture? In a day and age where people take these arguments way too seriously, society's come a long way from the good old nerd argument in the comic book store. And now people want to, argue about politics, people's bodies, whatever else have you. Do you think there's time for some healthy joshing here between these companies, like between the little Sony and Nintendo, or you think they're going to keep it super corporate, super sterile? Or do you think we have some opportunity of what's to come here? A little preview of some little spark here.
Yeah, I think Sony was the wrong company.
I mean, listen, the good news is it's not under the tutelage of Amy Pascal.
As long as Amy's nowhere near it, it's still a bad idea. But no, honestly, I don't mind when companies throw some shade. And it's kind of fun because it's been done successfully before many a time. It's just that two companies have to know they need to be both on the same page. This has to be a planned strategy. This should not be. This shouldn't be like MSNBC, joshing on CNN, because that could end badly. So.
We can
You're more fake news than we are. Anyway, yeah.
But we can still make it less cringe. That I mean, everyone loved the Wendy's Twitter account back in the day, but these days, all those arguments are so fake, so phony, and I think mostly 12-year-olds are going to enjoy them. Maybe I'm wrong there, but
hey, look. All I have to say is the best thing that's happened recently in the fast food wars has been Sydney Sweeney for Arby's. Oh wait, no, that was what was the name of the basketball girl? What's her name?
Caitlin Clark?
No, yes, but her friend, the super hot chick.
Oh, the really hot one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that her T-shirt promotion for Arby's was the biggest win for the PMS WNBA ever. I mean that, and it's raining adult toys. Hallelujah! It's I can't say it on this channel,
folks. Culture is referring to the Pat McAfee Show acronym. I would guess that's what he meant. Right?
Sophie, thank you. Randy Thoto is correct. Sophie Cunningham, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Love by the way, did you hear this? Guys, did you hear this? Not game related. This is a careful diversion by Culture. Did you hear that Sydney Sweeney may be the new spokeswoman for Bud Light?
Oh, wow.
No way.
I kid you not. It could be a genuine, not the terrible rapper, but it could be a genuine possibility. Yeah. So there's that.
The world is healing.
Hey, I mean, go ahead, Kevin.
I would say the world is healing.
Yes.
If you want to bring back your brand in one foul swoop, Sydney Sweeney's the answer.
Break glass in case of emergency. They just have a sledgehammer, opens the room.
Just Sydney Sweeney standing there. Yeah. How many millions? Oh. Thank you. Anyway.
The hero we had in our darkest time. But hey, if that sort of thing happens, or if we hear any connection to her on that Metroid movie, which I'll never shut up about, I want that rumor out there, we'll be sure to cover it here on That Game Place. Oh man, but you know what? We've had a lot of insanity here. Culture, I think we need to know what the chat thinks of our craziness. Maybe they want to see a little bit of Sydney Sweeney. I don't know. You want to see what they're saying?
Well, I mean, Gory Eyed Beast wants to talk about Ganon. Who's going to play Ganon?
Great question.
I am
Kevin, I got a roll for you.
Oh, I'll do it.
Yes.
Pair it up. But you know what? I'm glad he said Vin Diesel. I feel bad that Vin Diesel got screwed out of being Black Bolt, and I would pay money to see his Lord of the Rings audition tape, because rumor has it that he was standing around a massive bonfire, just reading passages from the books as his audition tape. So, like, let's give Vin Diesel something fun that he can chew on. It's our family.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you right now, it's all about family. Man, I don't even know. How would you give that guy? Okay, so he's had like some pretty decent roles. I mean, first of all, Triple X is one of the most underrated films ever. It had spy stuff and action stuff and Russian stuff. It's like the trifecta of like the cool stuff in that era. Plus he was, he didn't like authority, and he was basically telling future Marvel guy, Pound Sand.
Feige?
No.
Oh no, Nick Fury's.
Nick Fury. That was Nick Fury before he told anybody he was Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Triple X. The follow-up film was awful. That basically predicted we were going to have a terrible War of the Worlds. I'm just saying.
20 years early.
This is a bad idea. Outside of Friday, this is always a bad plan. Okay.
I'd like to think that second one came out before, the Steven Spielberg version in 2005 with Tom Cruise, because it somehow predicted it even after there was already an adaptation coming.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And look, the whole Sydney Sweeney thing is definitely post Heiner Schneid, because you only can be Heiner Schneided once. Anyway, somebody will get that joke. That's like another 80s movie. Did you ever see Johnny Dangerously?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I have a news story that feels like a sick, morbid joke, but apparently it's supposed to be legit. Would you like to share this beautiful story to our beautiful people culture?
The beautiful people. I will when it's shared.
Oh, whoopsie. Problem on the boss, dude. My bad. There we go.
All right, so you want me to push the button?
Push the button.
Kabam!
Yay! All right, everyone, we got Cow on a motorcycle, so we're in for a good ride here. This coming
now,
from the folks.
They need to put dinosaurs on motorcycles, darn it. That's what we want. That's the next Jurassic World movie. Dinosaurs on motorcycles.
And it might be better since some other creative decisions that have been made in more recent years for that franchise. Okay, so let's not a dinosaur. I'm talking about Alan in a Dream. Anyways, this story comes from Variety and is by Todd Spangler. So thank you, Todd, for writing up this article. Todd. The article headline of said article states, PETA urges Nintendo to remove Mario Kart World Cow's nose ring. It's a mean. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, let's get rid of woke cow activists. Yeah, I'm all for it. Do that right now.
Look, I've never been a nose ring guy. I don't like to tell people how they dress, but you know what? This is a fictional cow, so I can be like, you know what? Your nose ring is taxi, bro. It is tacky. Nah, you know what? This cow is cute. It's beautiful. I kind of want a plush one. I kid the cow. Anyways, animal rights advocacy group PETA wants Nintendo to remove the brass nose ring from Cow, the joyful anthropomorphic vehicle.
Yep.
Okay, I'm so shocked by this beautiful cow. I can't speak tonight. Animal rights.
No, you were right. I mean, animal advocacy group. Good Lord, I can't speak either. I'm just gonna say, I know that what you don't want, especially somebody that's on camera like this beautiful cow here, is like a booger catcher. Because you're on camera. If you have an accidental sneeze, it's a phlegm just swinging there. You can't see it. It would be bad. I mean, have a little, decency.
Maybe it's a move. Like, you could use it as like a weapon. If it goes shooting out, like you use like a blue shell, attack your
or a whip. It's like Indiana Jones cow.
But I'm sure we have some people in the audience, they might like the path of the nose ring. I'm not one to judge, but you know what I think we can all agree on? PETA seems to really like talking to Nintendo over the years. Or they like to leave letters at Nintendo's doorstep, and Nintendo likes to ignore them. The article goes on to say, animal rights advocacy group PETA wants Nintendo to remove the brass nose ring from Cow, the joyful anthropomorphic vehicle driving character in the recently released top-selling game Mario Kart World. Yes, really. PETA this week launched a campaign to urge the Japanese game maker to redesign the cow character without the nose ring.
Okay, well, that means PETA's extra stupid with cheese. First of all, they need to remove it from all their employees' noses first. Then we can talk. Second, just like with pigs, the ring in the cow's nose is to prevent it from rutting, which can create extraordinary infection and eventually death. So the nose ring's there for a reason. And if you know anything about animal husbandry, what?
Are you saying that my favorite cow might go to the great big farm rodeo in the sky?
Not for any of the reasons I described, because there is a nose ring. You know, and look, it's one of the best ways. And look, ladies, gentlemen, I don't know, whoever sticks nose rings. Then first of all, I don't find them unattractive. I'm surprised people want to be led around by their nose.
Hey, well, at least it's what serves a purpose instead of masking a lack of personality.
No, and honestly, seriously, unless it's like something that looks like you installed like a bull's nose ring, then yeah, it's a different thing. Like, but if you have like a what do they call that space? It's not the Fremen or Fremen. The Fremen are completely different. They're like people. They like wear like suits to collect water and stuff. What is this called?
It's called a nose. I just call it the nose.
No. They pierce the thing. It's a septum. I was like going to say Spirian, but he'd get pissed off at me. No, the septum. Anyway, no, I mean look, if you get a little one, it like a thin one, it's not unattractive. But if you decide, septum. Thank you guys. But if you decide like you're going to put like one of those places you could like moor like a ship, that's a problem. That's not attractive. That's like, future death at an MRI machine. That's what that is.
Can we name, we all have our own stance between the three of us on that, but can we please name the new Mario Kart game Future Death at the MRI Machine? I would buy that game day one.
Well, look, if that's PETA's purpose here is to prevent MRI machine death for the cow. Okay, I can see that. Anyway,
so
CEO Buzz Killington.
I'm super fun. Look out.
PETA goes on to say the brass ring in cow's nose glosses over real world violence and cruelty to animals. That's why we're asking you to give this beloved bovine a small but meaningful upgrade. Remove the nose ring and let cow race freely without any painful reminders of the industry that treats animals like profit-making
But that's
machines.
not why. Okay, sorry.
But no, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Well, it's funny to me because I have definitely a lot of feelings, towards how animals are treated in a lot of these industries. I am not going to go on that rant today. However, what I can say is this is so weird to me because usually when you see an activist group, vouching for something, they usually are like, hey, put this representation there so we can send whatever message we want.
Ooh,
we want to show people discriminating or whatever thing of the week your group has, or believes in. But it's very rare I hear them say, remove it so we can ignore what we see as the problem in a fictional thing. It's weird. It's so weird to me.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Let's not cast the aspersions, okay? If you're trying to draw attention away from things, maybe you have big ears. I don't know. Or you don't have, you feel inadequate with the number of piercings you have in your ears. I don't know. And then, by the way, why would you put chains from your ears to your nose ring? I mean, are you trying to look like a chandelier? What is happening right now?
Maybe they really like Dulcie.
I'm gonna get some hate mail. It's fine. Thomas Brown says PETA has no foot to stand on. Well, I haven't run into any of their famous amputees yet, but I believe you. When it comes to cruelty to animals, no, they just put them to death. They unalive them, by the way, children. And I wonder how much profit they make off of animals. Significant. There's always, look, being anti something doesn't mean you can't profit from something.
Yeah. So I would like to though relay this back to their statement though, because they were saying that remove the nose ring, let cow race freely without any painful reminders of the industry treat animals like profit machines. Joel Bartlett, PETA's SVP of Marketing Engagement, wrote in a letter addressed to Nintendo President Shantaro Furukawa, which the group posted on its website. He added, leave the rings to Sonic and let Cal breathe free. Why do you need to bring Sonic into this thing? What did that hedgehog ever do? Rips from Nintendo of America did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Will they ever get back on a comment? Well, we'll let you know in that gameplay, but I'm going to assume that's not going to happen. Mario Kart World was released.
Dude,
oh, go ahead.
we got wrecked. The chat's like, did we really just do a whole segment on a nose ring? Yes, it was entertaining.
But you know, I do want to bring this back, you know, a bit too, because this isn't the first time, as like, for example, the advocacy group in 2020 criticized the game giants Animal Crossing New Horizons for encouraging abusive behavior towards fish and insects, where players can tear wildlife out of their homes and display them in cramped cases in a museum. Well, don't tell Bill Gates about that. In 2017, PETA said Nintendo had sold its soul. Dang, that's some heavy weight there. By partnering with McDonald's to include Super Mario toys and Happy Meals, Nintendo should stay in the business of selling creative games, not cruel and unhealthy chicken nuggets, the group said at the time. Which I get you. McDonald's is sucks, but I mean, come on, bro. Like, they've been doing this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Kevin, you know, tell the beautiful people your opinions on McDonald's. Go for it.
I said the good news is it's not real chicken anyway, so there's no harm, no foul.
It's right.
But it's assembled pieces of chicken, or is that technically it'd be like former chicken?
Former chicken, repurposed chicken.
It's chicken meal,
chicken adjacent.
Yeah, and it's like you know, it's like processed cheese sauce. It's like akin to that. Like the nuggets are definitely processed chicken byproduct meat stuff.
But you know, our opinions about septum rings or McDonald's, whatever, all that aside, I truly believe, if we're going to the core of this, PETA likes calling out Nintendo because they honestly have a legacy. They have over a decade of doing this. I remember Mario Kills Tanukis back in the day. I remember Pokemon Black and Blue and how they were vouching for the villains, the antagonists in that game.
No. Our chat's on fire. Sorry.
We love our chat. They are the greatest of people. They keep this arcade running. But you know what? I think PETA's going to keep trying to do everything they can to make Nintendo run away. But the reality is, I think they like that Nintendo's there because it helps keep them relevant in the news. And I think Nintendo has helped them a lot with that, with them not, you know, suing them or pushing back. So I think PETA's going to continue to PETA. Kevin, any closing thoughts on this? I'm going to give you the last word here. What do you think we can learn from our beautiful friend Cal here? It's a cow. He has so much insight, Kevin.
It's wise. It's stunning and brave. I am a fan of this cow's stunning bravery, and I hope they persevere and continue to provide much needed representation to the bovine community.
Oh man, thank you for the insight there. And you know what? I'm kind of low-key hoping PETA keeps this up, because this is gold right here. PETA, if you're listening right now, guys, just keep doing this. I want to be covering PETA stories when I'm 70. Come on now. It's going to be a great time. And we'll cover it in their nursing home on That Game Place.
That's right. Oh my gosh. That segment was well worth it. The chat was flowing. Juliet came up with DEI chicken. Mr. Tickle Trunk decided McDonald's septum rings. Hey, you know, symbiosis, right? You know, keep that wheel spinning like you're Disney back when they were worth something. Some kind of meat. Yes. The nuggets are some kind of meat, maybe, or pieces of some kind of meat. Man, we should take that to a lab. What is this? It is not chicken. Yeah. So bad. Yeah, I was drinking from my magical cup right here What's a problem with that? Come on now. Anyway, it's great to see everybody.
Had a cup. E-I-E-I-O.
That's right. Butter Biscuit was so funny. You guys are on fire. PETA is a perpetual lol cow. Yes. Yes.
Trickle trunk. That was good.
Dude, that was a triple drop on that one. Yes,
I need to get that clip of Gary doing the ba-dum-tsh thing.
There you go. Doge says, PETA isn't really woke, but they're a different breed of trouble. Yeah, we call them douche. Anyway, hey, Blue Sharky says, well said. Hey, it's the chat. It wasn't me. I am very much shaggy.
Joining in.
I'm very much shaggy today. It wasn't me. All right. It's terrible. I know. Hey, but you know what? For me, it was a Tuesday.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
See, I told Pro I could get that in twice tonight, and I did. All right, we have another story or something. Hey, Blue Sharky, you're welcome. We noticed everybody here. Chris Dickerson. Okay, before we move on to the next story, which we have prepped, Chris Dickerson says, PETA, let's discuss the septum. Meet you at Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
I have to tell you, eat more chicken. The cows are telling you. I'm just saying. All right, let's do the next story. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get into this thing, and I think this is going to be a fun one, gentlemen. I was really excited to cover this one because I think some gamers are pretty happy right now, and we're seeing a major shift in the gaming industry, and I think, personal opinion here, I'm all for it. Are you guys ready to get into this thing?
Yes. Shifty!
Woo! Okay, this comes from Forbes by the good Paul Tassi. Marvel Rivals director dismisses Gooner game classification. I think we could say that on YouTube. To if anyone wonders what that means, you have Google. You can check that yourself. But anyways, the article goes on to say the longer Marvel Rivals exists, the more cosmetic skins are added to the game. And the one that attract the most attention on social media are the provocative ones. Namely, for the female characters that show quite a bit of skin. Yeah, Kevin, were you born with skin? Do you have skin on your body?
I think so. It's a little stretchy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like mine too. It's very soft. Like I put ointment. Sometimes it kind of hurts and cracks in like the wintertime, but we're all born with it. I think it's kind of a fun thing to have. During a lengthy Rivals assembled interview with Marvel Rivals creator director Gong Guang. Apologies if I butcher your name. A for effort, right? This specific question of Rivals becoming a Gooner game was raised. Don't ask me the origin of the word. Just say people now use it to describe games relying heavily on lust appeal. Gong had a thoughtful answer that didn't go after those saying that, but explained why such costumes are chosen. Namely, most of the ones cited are straight from the comic books. Here's the exchange. Speaking of cosmetics and skins, how do you guys respond to people calling Marvel Writers a Gooner game? He responds with, because our design is inspired by classic comic themes, including some very outstanding skins like Mantis and also Psylocke Vengeance, these all come from classic comic designs, and we create some more fashionable designs based on them to gain players' appreciation. I have some appreciation, but that's a personal opinion here. I think this also reflects the broad reconnection from our players. As mentioned earlier with the Squirrel Girl and the Krakoa Resort skin, these are actually designs based on real-world themes and the season's storyline. For designs like these, we try our best to integrate the storyline from the season, including elements from Krakoa and blend popular elements from real life. We create new designs based on that, and I'm very grateful these designs have been well received by a majority of players. I think a lot of the cosplay you're seeing, not just attention from male gamers, but also all the cosplays of females is really showing the popularity of this game. The article closes with, there's an entire debate in the game community about whether sexy character designs help or hurt a game. The fact is, according to Forbes here, this is in their opinion, The main issue is whether the game is fundamentally good or not. These are examples both ways. Famously, woke Concord, in quotation marks, with its conservative, extremely poor character design, utterly failed. The hot heroine Eve from the star of the successful Stellar Blade, but the first Descendant, which has leaned heavily into these character designs, is still trucking along, but is at anywhere from its 90-95% down from its peak. The general sense is that Marvel Rivals is a fundamentally good game, and it would be good with or without these skins, albeit it's almost certain they sell better than most. Rivals is still topping 120,000 players a night on Steam alone. Its monthly character churn is keeping people occupied who may otherwise dip out. The entire Gooner versus woke debate remains rather pointless, as the main point is that a game has to be quality enough to retain players, and going one way or the other isn't going to flip the success switch. I do expect Marvel Rivals to change. I do not expect Marvel Rivals to change anything from here, nor should they really. Now, I would give a little bit of personal pushback to Forbes on this, because I do think, design is half the game. It's all about immersion. Like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you want to feel like, you're in an unsafe environment, you want to have everything be as ridiculous as possible. And I think, honestly, if Concord looked more like the first Descendant, I think it probably wouldn't have gone off the market that quick. Now, that's also to say on the flip side, a game can't just be all fan service. If you're marketing to people who might like the Concord style and you are really going into themes they might like, because that's your audience, or you're thinking you might be able to make some money there, I do think that, it can go the other way as well. But the reality is, if we can take anything from this, Marvel Rivals has seen a lot of success in giving its audience that it has identified what they want. Kevin, I'm going to give you the first word here. Like, do you think Forbes is crazy, or do you think there's something going on where people are pretty happy with Marvel Rivals right now?
But before we jump into this, is that Loki or Bodemeo? What's happening here?
I think it's Loki. I think it's Loki. We got kind of reminds me of David Bowie and Labyrinth right now, but
are you talking about on the left? Because on the left, wouldn't that be that silly Circe? What's the name of the female Loki?
Sylvie.
Sylvie. Yeah. So that I would have bought that was Sylvie. I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be Psylocke. I think.
Okay. So on the right, you think that's Loki?
Is that the Loki pokey stick?
Possibly, but it is kind of, sort of, maybe. Yeah, I'm not. Those are some snug trunks.
Like I said, it's David Bowie going on here.
Very strange.
Forbes is not. They're on the right track here. Listen, the spicy-ish content.
Our chat's on fire. I got it. I shouldn't have looked. I gotta stop looking at the chat. Anyway,
spiciest content sells. It is what it is. And listen, yes, they're going back to the comics for some designs. I think they should ignore anything and everything that has to do with Krakoa, because that's when the X-Men were creepy pod people. But pull your designs from the 90s, when these books used to sell 1 million copies a month, and everybody was having fun with it. The artwork was stunning 9 times out of 10. It was it's you play these games because you want a visual treat for your eyes, not not a bunch of characters who look like
hey, ladies like the cod piece, so sure.
And you can't ignore the fact that cosplay is a big part of how these games and these IPs maintain viability. Since like 2010, attractive females dominate the cosplay space, and you got to give them something to keep them motivated.
Okay, that's where I appreciate going to conventions, and it's full of female shepherds. Commander Shepard. Thank you very much. That N7, that is a form-fitting outfit. I'm just gonna say. Good armor.
But Marvel Rivals has definitely inspired a lot of people, both in the imagination, but also in the creative sense of, where the world can go. And, it gives you motivation. As someone who knows a few female cosplayers and like that, people love pretty designs, it's all subjective, some people like it 'cause it's like, maybe it's a little too fan service for me, or some people really like to lean into that. And I just like being in a time right now where I feel like we have options, I know a while back, there was some controversy going on with, I believe it was Baldur's Gate 3, for having some questionable things that people were kind of liking, because the game kind of lets you do everything. But, certain games were also around the time were not letting, traditional kind of fan servicey stuff fly. We're kind of in an age right now where we're starting to see a renaissance. The old stuff, we're kind of getting a bit of everything. And personal opinion here, would like to see it to more where it's like, hey, everyone's catered to, the kids are protected, but the adults, the adults can go out and have their fun. And I think, if it's just, showing a little bit of skin that we were created with, and it's making a lot of people happy in conventions, especially Culture Casino seeing Shelford, I think we're living in good times, a good timeline right there. What do you think, Culture?
No, I'm with you. I mean, hey, as long as I see Commander Shepard and Rogue, come on, Rogue, best X-Men character, Rogue. Yeah, and I'm good. And what I love about the fact that Marvel Rivals is in the I don't GAF mode, it tells me that the world is healing. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like it. I feel healed. And ladies, there's a COD piece for you out there as well. So you're good. Can you imagine Thor? Thor's costume has to be lady appreciated like we've never seen before. Plus, he's got muscles.
Very true. Kevin, so do you think Marvel Rivals is kind of like one of the biggest catalysts of where we could see gaming going in the future, or do you think this is going to be a fad?
No, I'm hoping that this means that we're coming back to sanity and people are going to be able to enjoy things and not have some weirdo poo-poo everybody's parade because,
They asked the Chinese for gay costumes and they complied. I don't think so. I don't know about that. I think that's cross platform appeal. That's what I'm going to say, if you know what I mean. Anyway,
this is why I love my panel, folks. We got some fun. Crazy things, but Marvel Rivals, I think it's a game that's definitely built a legacy in a lot of different ways, and I think I'm very excited to see what the future holds.
Okay, our chat, you guys have been lighting it up. I don't even know how to not react. Oh my goodness.
We love our chat so much, and you know what? I also love what Marvel Rivals gave to us. So you know what? I'm excited to see what new costumes are coming. I hope we're going to be seeing a bit of a renaissance with the 90s, because I think we're in an era now where there's a lot of different kinds of people out there. A lot of people can appreciate. You can appreciate the cow with the nose ring in Mario Kart, unless you're PETA. But you can also enjoy Marvel Rivals and Rogue's Caboose. So, hey, have a good time, folks.
What are they going to put Namor in?
Hey, look, everybody wants Rogue's backstory. Especially me. By the way, Davina Duckworth says the most valuable advice of the night, you never go full barf. No, you don't. No.
All right, well, I think we're going to pull a wrap on that, but you know what? If there are some more promiscuous costumes coming, we'll be sure to talk about it on that gameplays. All right, Culture, that was actually our final story of the day. So before we start plugging everybody's shows...
Boo this man. Boo.
Oh, okay. Well, it can't be 24/7, at least not yet. We'll
get there. We'll get there.
Folks. But you know what? I'm excited, though, because we got a lot of really good stuff coming. We got some uploads coming. We got a lot of streams, and you know what? I got the best gentleman on the planet to be doing that with, so I'm very appreciative of these guys. But before we start plugging all of our adventures outside of that game place, not saying the momentum's going anywhere, because boy, Guys, we're about to go on fire with this thing. Let's hear what our beautiful chat has to say about this Marvel Rivals stuff, because they're on fire. Go for it, Culture.
They're excited. I guess the Chinese are confused because they say, like, the Chinese don't even like their own people, let alone the flamboyant ones. Okay. Let's see. Argentum says, I personally prefer a man in a suit to a man in a Speedo. Hey, I have suits. Baldur's Gate 3 was a fantastic game with some weird stuff, for sure. Hey, in that game, you could certainly reach for the brass ring, if you know what I mean. Let's see. We got a few other things out there. Let's see. It's a diverse game. It's diverse. Yeah. And inclusive. It is. Yeah. Let's see. Who else is out there? Snarky. Or Sharky, the blue Sharky is here. Says, personally, I don't like seeing too much skin, but I love leotards. I like I'm going to tell you right now, N7 armor, man's best friend. And ladies like it too. It shows off the ruffly ridges in your stomach that Kevin has like 1,000 of. I don't even know how he does that. It's like a 27,000 pack. Anyway, thank you, Davina. We did have a great show. I will never play Marvel Rivals. Those are not my games. It's like, hey, do you want to play this, run around game where you can buy skins and never actually own anything and spend money on? No, that would be Fortnite. I'm not interested. We do appreciate each and every one of you.
And we really appreciate all those super chats earlier in the show too, by the way. We do. It does make a huge difference, and we're going to do everything we can to repay you with the best quality content we can. And the bigger we get, we hope we can do more for you.
And more of it. And by the way, this is true, Gory-Eyed Beast. For us, it was a Tuesday.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Can't do anything about that. My friends, the following is brought to you, the end of the show, is brought to you by these three gentlemen. Myself, the great and powerful Kevin Apollo, otherwise known as House of Apollo. So go subscribe over there. Check out Nolan Thunder. He's a very talented individual. And I'm going to turn it over to the boss to say goodbye.
All right, more thing before we go. Kevin, I know you got a new late night show. Where can people find it? What time?
Oh yeah, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 p.m. on the WDW Pro channel. Lauren, Connor, and I will. I don't know. We kind of have run the gamut on what we're going to talk about. So you never know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be all for you guys because you guys make things fun and entertaining, and we like hanging out with you. So
and I hear sometimes the two of us show up and kind of wreck your show up a little bit. Am I right on that?
Oh, it's okay. The more the merrier. Chaos. We love chaos.
You had plenty last night.
That game plays at late nights. Lauren Apollo. They're the chaos route, but it's the fun route. Culture 6 Minute Daily. To plug it. When can we find it? Where? How? When? How?
Monday through Friday in the mornings, 11:45 a.m. If you're on the East Coast, or 7:45 a.m. on the Pacific. And I'm going to say it this way. This is a very important statement. Davina asks, will Ghost of Yotai be woke? Yes. Yeah. Enjoy. And I hope everybody has a great evening.
Thank you, Davina. We appreciate all your support and everyone here, really.
And go check out Lost in the Files. It's coming soon. He's going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to hit the magic thumbs up button. So.
Yep, it's time to. We're about ready to bail, folks. But I just want to let you know that Lost Files episode 10, after a 13-month production, is finally about to hit YouTube. It's my documentary series about video game mysteries. Thank you, Culture. All sorts of internet phenomenon, and there's an alleged rumor that Mario 64 was made with an evil artificial intelligence, personalizing every copy. So that childhood copy you played back in 1996, well, might not be the same game that everyone else played. It's a weird rabbit hole, and I got a lot of B-movie horror in it, and the voices of some very wonderful people you might recognize out there. So it's going to be premiering this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. immediately following T3PO Live on that Pod Place channel. It's going to redirect over. So it's going to be a 36-minute long extravaganza. So be ready. It's going to be crazy, and I hope it lives up to your expectations and all that. Culture, do you got any closing thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
We're fierce, we're feminist, and we're in your face.
Yeah, feminism place over here, baby. So until next time, I would like to remind all you beautiful viewers, get your game on.
Get your game on. That's right. See ya. I'm hitting the button. Can I hit the button?
Bye.
Hey, boss, do I hit the button now?
You can, unless you want to do the 24/7 stream, like maybe a suggestion.
Bye, everybody.